Every Christian knows that sin is their number one enemy, and something that must be avoided at all costs. Yet despite knowing this, many still find themselves unable to break free from it. Deep down, they still have a desire to please God. They still want to live right. They still mean well, but they keep falling. And that leads to one painful question. Why does this sin keep defeating me? Why do I keep going back to the same thing, even after praying, repenting, and promising change? If that's your question, then let's break it down. Here are the real reasons why you keep sinning again and again. Reason 1. You are agreeing with a lie. One of the biggest reasons you keep sinning is because you believe a lie. You tell yourself, this is the last time. But deep down, you've said that before, again and again and again. And every time you say it, you feel better for a moment. But nothing really changes, because it was never a decision. It was just a lie you told yourself to feel temporary relief. You are not breaking the cycle. You are managing your guilt. And the more you repeat that lie, the more power it has over you. Because what you agree with, you empower. And what you keep believing, you keep becoming. Real change doesn't start when you say, this is the last time. It starts when you say, I am done lying to myself. Reason 2. You rely on emotion, not discipline. After sin, you feel bad. You feel guilty. You feel emotional. And in that moment, you promise God, I will never do this again. For a few days, you even feel different. You don't feel the urge. You don't feel the desire. You feel like you've changed. But then, 3 days later, 4 days later, the desire comes back. And when it comes back, you fall again. This happens because you built your decision on feelings, not discipline. Here's the truth most people don't understand. Not feeling the urge is not victory. That is just a break. Real victory is this. You feel the urge and still say no. You feel like lusting, but you don't act on it. You feel like watching porn, but you close it. You feel like drinking, but you walk away. Because discipline is not the absence of desire. It is the ability to refuse it. The Bible says in Galatians 5:16, walk by the Spirit, and you will not gratify the desires of the flesh. Notice, it doesn't say the desires will disappear. It says you will not act on them. Reason 3. You don't truly see the cost. There is a difference between knowing the cost and seeing the cost. You can know something is wrong without ever feeling its consequences. You can know sin is dangerous, but still take it lightly, because you haven't seen the damage yet. You may know watching porn is wrong and still keep doing it. But the day you are with your wife and you're trying to be intimate and your body cannot respond, or you can't maintain an erection, or you lose control too quickly, that's when you realize how much damage was already done. You may hold on to drinking alcohol like it's nothing, but one day you look at your life. Years have passed, nothing meaningful was built. Your money is gone, your health is breaking. That's when you see the cost. You may hold on to bad habits, but when doors start closing, when opportunities disappear, when your life starts reflecting your choices, that's when it becomes real. Because sin is deceptive. It hides the cost in the beginning and reveals it later. And the longer you stay in it, the harder it becomes to leave. Reason 4. You haven't cut the source. Most people try to fight sin, but they don't remove what feeds it. You say you want to stop, but you're still around the same triggers, the same environment, the same people, the same habits. You're trying to win the battle while standing in the battlefield, and it doesn't work like that. For example, you say you want to quit lust, but you're constantly on social media, scrolling, watching, and when you see something provocative, you don't scroll away. You stay a little longer, you look again, you entertain it. And that's how the cycle starts again. Because sin doesn't begin with action. It begins with exposure. The longer you stay exposed, the weaker your resistance becomes. The Bible says in Matthew 5:29, if your right eye causes you to sin, tear it out and throw it away. That doesn't mean harm yourself. It means remove anything that is feeding the problem. Reason 5. You haven't made a real decision. There's a difference between a desire that says, I wish I could stop, and a decision that says, I will not continue. Many people are not stuck because they don't want to change, but because they have not made a real decision. They keep telling themselves, just one more time, or this is the last time. But nothing actually changes, because deep down they are still enjoying it. And as long as part of you is still enjoying it, you will always find yourself going back to it, no matter how many times you promise to stop. You may hate the consequences, but still desire the sin itself. And that internal conflict is what keeps you trapped in the same cycle. The Bible says in James 1:14-15, each person is tempted when they are dragged away by their own evil desire and enticed. Then, after desire has conceived, it gives birth to sin. This shows that sin does not start with action. It starts with desire, and without a firm decision to confront that desire, it will continue to pull you back into the same cycle again and again. Real freedom begins when you stop negotiating with sin and finally decide, once and for all, I am done. Reason 6. You are fighting alone. You don't talk about it. You don't open up. You keep everything hidden. And hidden struggles grow stronger because silence feeds cycles. The more you hide it, the more it controls you. The Bible says in Proverbs 28:13, he who conceals his sins does not prosper, but whoever confesses and renounces them finds mercy. Notice that hiding brings stagnation, but confession brings mercy. You were never meant to fight everything alone. Accountability brings exposure, and exposure breaks patterns. So the real question is, what are you going to do about it? Because awareness alone is not enough. You can understand all of this and still remain stuck. Real change begins when you take responsibility. Cut what feeds it. Change your environment. Build discipline. And stop staying silent about your struggle. But most importantly, decide. Because cycles are not broken by emotion. They are broken by decisions. If this spoke to you, like the video, subscribe for more, and take a moment to reflect and pray. I appreciate you all. See you in the next one.